Shalom, Yasharala. I want to go into this lesson on, who's really your brother and who is the people you should love. Because, a lot of people have that misconception like you're supposed to love everybody. But if you look at Leviticus 19 chapter, it breaks it down pretty much, right? Leviticus 19:18, thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. Salak, first and foremost, want to give call hello, Abanawi Yahweh, Bahashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. And it reads, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. So literally, you see it says, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. The very next line tells you who's thy people, right? Your neighbor. Because if everybody's your neighbor, who is the enemies that the Bible's talking about? So it's just really a brainwashed thing that people do not study the Bible, right? Yes, we all have teachers, but a person who looks for wisdom and understanding on things, they're going to search out things for themselves. These people who think the Bible is all love, you just going with what you were taught since you were young. You don't know how to break chains. And that's the thing about the mind. That's why it's so deceitful, because it never wants to get out of its comfort zone. Anything new, the mind is going to cringe and make you feel like you should stray away from that thing. Because if we go to Psalms 59th chapter, literally the first line says, deliver me from mine enemies. Oh my God, defend me from them that rise up against me. So if everybody's your brother, right? Who is the enemies that the Lord is delivering us from? Does that make any sense? People have to think, right? Let me go to 1 Samuel chapter 12 and 14. And it reads, if ye will fear the Lord and serve him and obey his voice and not rebel against the commandment of the Lord, then shall both ye and also the king that reigneth over you continue following the Lord your God. Verse 15, but if ye will not obey the voice of the Lord, but rebel against the commandment of the Lord, then shall the hand of the Lord be against you, as it was against your fathers. Right? Against your fathers. Do everybody have the same father? No. Only a nation of people can have the same father. So obviously that nation of people is who Leviticus 19 and 17 talking about. When it says your neighbor, because nations of people, you can see now the fake Jewish people now, they're in the communities secluded from the world. So their neighbor actually looks like them. It's the same way it was back in these times. Our neighbors were people that looked like us. It wasn't everybody. So John 3:16 deserves understanding to understand what's going on in that text. And how do you start at John 3 verse 16? And we're the ones cherry picking. You have to start at the beginning to get a understanding of who's it's talking about. Who's the world? Also, you have to have an understanding of Old English, right? You have to read different translations to understand the Old English. And you need time. You have to put time in to get an understanding. These people literally listen to a dictator talk to them, right? Because that's how churches are made. You're sitting down, somebody's on a high uh, bullpen talking down to you like a dictator. And you're just, yeah, I agree. Everything you're saying is right. Pass that plate around. Let me throw that money in there. Right? It's ridiculous. Let's get the book of Esther, chapter 3, verse 8. And it reads, and Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom. A certain people scattered abroad, right? And their laws are diverse from all people. So these people are scattered throughout the kingdom of Ahasuerus, right? But they go by different laws than the people that they're living with, right? Because that's what your enemies do. They capture you and then they put you into slavery, right? You're in the slavery, but your spirit doesn't change. Okay, so you still had this time these people still had an idea of where they came from, their heritage. Let me finish it out. Neither keep they the king's laws, therefore it is not for the king's profit to suffer them. If it please the king, let it be written that they may be destroyed. Right? So these are the enemies that the Lord is trying to that Psalms 59 is talking about. That's being asked for the Lord to save us from. How is everybody your brother and your neighbor? Who are we being saved from then? Just ourselves? That would make the Bible look contradictory. Okay? You have physical enemies. Okay? And there's nothing new under the sun. Right? Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Right? Because we keep going through the same cycle of being persecuted. Right? Being persecuted by our enemies. And I'm just going in the spirit right now. I don't have a lesson planned or nothing. This is just the Lord. And I thank the Lord for giving me a glimpse of wisdom. Right? So it reads, Psalm 73 and 3, for I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. Who's the wicked if everybody's your brother? For there are no bands in their death. Verse 4, but their strength is firm. Verse 5, they are not in trouble as other men. Who's the other men if we're all brothers and everybody's neighbors? Neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment. Right? Verse 8, they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. So who's doing the oppressing? Because somebody's getting oppressed. Right? Let's go back to Esther. Somebody's getting oppressed. Esther 3 and 13. And the letters were sent by post in all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews, both young and old. Jews, not Jewish. Okay? The Bible does not say anything about Ish, except if you are Ishmaelite. Okay? They talk about Jews and Israelites. It has none. Oh man, this is right in people's face. This is like, how can you? I could understand if people have a problem with, oh, this person not an Israelite, or we don't know who's who. But this information, you cannot dispute it, bro. This is ridiculous. You know what I mean? But I understand why the prophets went through so much. It's just really preaching to sleep sheep. Sleep sheep, man. To destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish all Jews, both young and old, little children and women, in one day. Is that not oppression? That's what Psalm 73 is talking about, right? Because Esther is before Psalms. Psalms is down the line, right? So throughout all these compilations of books, we get to that point in Psalms with David and Saul, right? But all the books before it were all the history of the Jews, right? And history repeats itself, as we just saw in Ecclesiastes 1 and 8. Let's jump into the Apocrypha, right? Because there's a parallel in Esther and Maccabees. It says, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient fasts, 2 Maccabees 6 and 6, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. And in the day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint. Constraint means to hold against your will, to eat of the sacrifices. This is oppression, once again, right? Verse 9, and whoso would not conform himself to the matter of the Gentiles should be put to death. Then might a man have seen the present misery. Right? We just saw that in Esther. Okay? The letters were sent by post in all the king's provinces to destroy, to kill, and to cause to perish. Right? History keeps repeating itself. Let's go to Judith. Why is there parallels in all these books? If this is just for everybody. Salat. Verse Judith 5 and 18. But when they departed from the way which he appointed, they were destroyed in many battles very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs. And the temple of their God was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies. Okay? This is plain as day, bro. Why does Judith 5 and 18 parallel with Esther, right? And 1 Samuel. 12 and 15. But if ye will not obey the voice of the Lord, but rebel against the commandment of the Lord, then shall the hand of the Lord be against you, as it was against your fathers. Right? All these books are reiterating itself. Deuteronomy, which deuter means twice, to do again. It's having the same thing. For Deuteronomy 24, for the Lord your God is he that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies to save you. And with that, I give call Lord Abanaw Yahweh Bahashim Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Hopefully somebody got the message, and Shalom.